And we're back live on. Welcome back, guys, to another update on a beautiful, not beautiful, a pretty wet and dreary and ugly Tuesday evening. And we got a lot to talk about on this Tuesday evening. We got severe thunderstorms, we got tornado watches, we got lots of things to talk about in this video. So and let's first off look at the SPC on a day one convective outlook, and look at this. We got enhanced risk for Chicago, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Louisville, Evansville, and for Tennessee and for the Chicago area. Even up to Milwaukee, a slight risk. My bad. And we do have a great chance for some severe thunderstorms, large damaging tornadoes, large hail, damaging winds, all of that in the cards this evening. As you can see, we have a 10% chance of a strong EF2 or higher tornado within this region. 10% for Chicago, 10% for Cincinnati, 10% for Louisville, Evansville, 10%, St. Louis, 10%. And you notice this hatch risk right here? This is a probability of EF2 or higher tornadoes. That's a 15% chance of a tornado. This is big news, very big news. And as you probably suppose, severe thunderstorms producing tornadoes. Every threat is possible with this. Supercells, some tornadic, have developed over the surface low just ahead of the cold front over northern Illinois and along the east-west boundary, which separates the greater theta to the south. Very steep lapse rates along the warm sector, cave values up to 2,000 joules per kilogram. There's lots of energy. Significant tornado threat continued across parts of northern Illinois and may eventually northwest Indiana later this evening. The tornado threat may extend into southern lower Mississippi as well, coincident with the surface low. Several more hours of potential boundary layer moistening will occur ahead of the cold front from Arkansas toward the lower Ohio Valley tonight. An 850 millibar winds increase to 60 knots. Although low-level winds may veer, forecast storm motions are expected to be over 50 knots, which will be effective for tornadic development and is forecast to remain over 300 miles squared. The end result will be storms focused along the front, possibly with linear segments or broken with discrete supercells with tornado, damaging wind, hail potential likely. Strong tornado potential will exist with any activity remaining along or just ahead of the cold front. So you can see that this discussion, man, they really want to throw a hammer. So this is a day one, very significant. Wind 30%, significant severe for Cincinnati, Ohio, like these areas right in here. Hail probability, very significant. We could be talking about golf ball sized hail, apple sized hail. We could be talking about baseballs falling in the Windy City today in Chicago. A 30% risk for 2 inches in diameter or larger. This is a big deal. This is going to cause lots of damage. The hail is going to be crazy tonight. So get ready, because once we get to tomorrow, it is our turn. And we do even have a 2% tornado risk just to the west of us. And this could easily increase over New Jersey. And the wind threat, oh my goodness, man. We gotta watch this. So, what we've noticed, a marginal risk has been issued for our area. And that is a big factor in this. because this could be easily upgraded to a slight risk now. I think the marginal risk will extend all the way to the East Coast. It will include Charlotte, Raleigh, Roanoke, Richmond, Baltimore, Philadelphia, maybe not New York, Scranton, Binghamton, all the way up to like the Northeast. Yeah. Why I think this? Because I think the SPC is quite generous with this because they don't count the evening threat with that damaging wind and that powerful squall line we were talking about for days that would produce severe weather possibly. Well, why am I not surprised? I think I'm gonna be right on this one. I mean, the SPC didn't highlight this yesterday, but they're thinking there might be severe thunderstorms tomorrow. There might be a couple isolated, discrete, severe cells possible in that line, where not only you got the veering winds in the upper atmosphere, but you got 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts like in the evening tomorrow. Not only you got that, but also any stronger thunderstorms or maybe even a couple severe thunderstorms develop. And please let it not be a tornado, because if it's stronger, like a strong thunderstorm, you got those really like powerful winds up and down in the atmosphere. This is gonna cause some twists in some of these segments of the line, and we're gonna have to be concerned for some of these lines, for some of these segments to not spin up something. So this is what we're gonna have to watch. But in general, tomorrow is gonna be a very stormy evening. In general, I think we might be seeing some widespread power outages because gusts will be up to 55 miles an hour in some places. So that will definitely cause some trees to fall. That will cause power outages. I do think we will be looking at some tree damage. I do think over like the time window, this 6 to 11, I think we could be looking at some tree damage starting to form here. But let's read the discussion. Let's see if it wants to agree with this. Okay, there is a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms from Middle Tennessee, Eastern Kentucky, into the Northeast states. Isolated strong to severe thunderstorms will pose a risk of damaging gusts primarily from Middle Tennessee, Eastern Kentucky, into the Northeast states on Wednesday. Expansive upper troughing is forecast to extend from far northwestern Ontario southward through the upper Midwest, and then more southwestern flow into Texas early Wednesday morning. Strong mid-level flow will accompany this upper trough, particularly with the jet streak characterized by 100 plus knot flow at 500 millibars. That is very powerful right there. It is expected to move quickly eastward and becomes increasingly negatively tilted with time. Now, negatively tilted. You see how we were talking about it was like a positive like trough and then it become negatively tilted. That's what we're talking about like a week ago, how this could be similar to like the January storm where we had a negatively tilted trough and we had hundreds of thousands of people without power in New Jersey. And quite frankly, we are pinpoint accurate with this storm as well. So very good forecasting we did with this. I don't think we were doing too dramatic. I don't think we were doing too bad. I think we were pretty solid with this, you know? I think we did pretty good with this one. Okay, anyway, as it does, the jet streak will move eastward as well, spreading across the Ohio and Tennessee valleys and into the mid-Atlantic by Wednesday evening. By early Thursday, this negatively tilted trough, what the heck, is expected to extend from the southern Hudson Bay to off the New England coast. Okay, I'm gonna read some of this, but not all of it. Thunderstorms will likely be ongoing along this front at the beginning of the period, which some could be severe. Additional thunderstorms are expected along the front as it pushes eastward throughout the day. So more and more thunderstorms will be developing. Now, what is gonna be the most determining factor when these storms arrive? If it's at like 4 and 6, like in between that, I think we'll be looking at strong to severe thunderstorms with really high wind gusts. But if we see them in the evening, don't worry. We're still gonna see some strong thunderstorms, but they're gonna be a little bit weaker, and it's more like gonna be a very quick downpour with some very strong winds with it. But it's not gonna be like thunderstorms and like lightning. It might not even be that. So timing is key, because it depends how much severe characteristics we get with this. Okay, anyways, although limited low-level moisture and buoyancy will likely lead to diminishing coverage and intensity over time. See, this is what I'm saying. If we do get these storms early, they could be severe, and some could rotate and produce that like extreme like gust from in front of it, and maybe produce something that it's something we gotta watch. It's something we gotta watch. And then it's pretty much okay. And then we have the discussion from the northeast. A narrow, strongly forced line of shallow convection appears probable along the front as it moves from central New York to Pennsylvania Wednesday afternoon eastward northeastward through New England by Wednesday night. Shallow nature of this convection should keep it free from abundant lightning, although isolated flashes are still possible. Wind fields are already expected to be quite strong, so any convective augmentation could lead to an increased chance for a damaging severe gust. And this is what we're going to have to watch for tomorrow. Shallow nature of this convection should keep it free from abundant lightning, but we're still going to be looking at some thunderstorm action tomorrow. So it's definitely something to take in mind tomorrow. We're going to be looking at some really active weather. Lots of locations and risk. I think we will see a marginal risk extend all the way into New Jersey. I think there might even be a little bit of a slight risk. That's what I'm thinking. We'll see if that shapes out tomorrow. I mean, I'm excited to see what happens, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We will see. Okay, so with the current radar, it's just raining. It's like not anything too bad. Like from the past, we did see a couple heavy downpours. Not in terms of lightning, but we did see a couple heavy downpours show from this. And they're still continuing to produce some very heavy rain. It's nothing too bad, because we are not seeing lightning with this anymore, which is good. But, I mean, look at this, man. Oh my god. We get out to Chicago, and you see this. Oh boy. And we were pinpointing that this discrete cell would go right over Chicago. Well, I'm sorry, Chicago, but it's true. And I mean, we look at half dollar size tail, 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Oh my goodness. This is quite concerning. Half dollar size tail. Like, you know how big that must be? We even got a tornado warning for parts of Chicago, and this is a damaging tornado. Yeah, quite a wild weather pattern for the Windy City. Tornadoes this evening. So we're gonna see that traverse over to the east tomorrow. It's not gonna be tornadoes, but we're gonna see some damaging wind gusts in this area. In the northeast, mid-Atlantic, we're gonna have to watch. Alright, now we get to the end and like more picky stuff. We get to the more exciting stuff, I would say. Let's go model by model. What is gonna happen for like the regional US? We are gonna look at the Midwest first. Powerful thunderstorms developing, but it's already happening. We're seeing some severe thunderstorms. So I think we'll zoom over to the Mid-Atlantic. And as you can see, Wednesday morning, you already got a couple convective showers and thunderstorms trying to develop ahead of that front. And watch this. It just keeps on going and going. And look at this, man. You start to get a squall line. And you start to get a really well-defined squall line. That warm air surging upward with that south wind that is going to produce these temperatures that might even get to 65 tomorrow. It's going to be warm. The thing is about this, it's not going to be like you're gonna have like this destructive sunshine that will probably like allow lots of convection. It's gonna be a lot of rain, and the fact that that is gonna shape out, that limits the severe potential. But still, you got so much dynamics in the atmosphere that there's no stopping this. And I mean, it comes true once we get to like 1 p.m. on Wednesday. Look at this well-defined squall line. I mean, you see this? It's well defined. I mean, when we get even further, this is a well-defined squall line. This would be damaging wind gusts for New Jersey. This would probably produce thunderstorms, probably some frequent lightning out of this. And who knows, maybe one of these cells could produce a discrete, like, very brief funnel cloud or tornado. We have to see. And then we see wet snow on the backside of this. We get even further out. This squall line survives all the way to New Jersey, according to this model. So, pretty impressive, I'll tell you. So, I mean, it's tricky, but I think this squall line will survive. I think this squall line will survive. And it'll go throughout the whole entire New England coast, and I mean, it's still strong. It still shows strong signals that this will happen. So, we're going to look at the dew point. Right at that time, we're going to look at the dew points. We're going to see upper 50s tomorrow. This very sticky air, man. It is really punishing sometimes. And look at this, man. The peak of the cold front, that's when that squall line is coming through. That's that shallow convection I was talking about. That's where that shallow convection equals thunderstorms. And I mean, we got dew points almost up to 60. So we do have severe characteristics of this. I'm not saying that we don't. I mean, after that, like 3 hours in, you got dew points in the 30s, and it gets even drier. It gets single digit dew points. It's just dry. Very, very dry. You get to 9 by Thursday morning. It is bone chilling dry. It's impressive though. It really is impressive. And we look at the temperatures for this. We go to the peak of the cold front. I mean, no, like the temperatures, not like the cold air. But man, you got some 60-degree readings in New Jersey. You got some upper 70s in Carolinas. And then we get to even the peak of the cold front, you start to see 60. And we even start to see like 61 in southern Jersey. And we go even further out, we still hang on to these very warm temperatures. That's what's gonna really fuel up that squall line tomorrow afternoon. It will be weak, kind of, in this area, but once it gets into this moisturized area right in here, it's gonna refire those damaging winds and thunderstorms, which I will be a little bit concerned about tomorrow. We take a look if the Euro agrees with this. We'll go back to the precipitation. Yes, it really does. I mean, there's a squall line right here, well defined. It does weaken a little bit, but still, you get the idea. Some segments of this are very strong. It could produce thunderstorms, it could produce severe weather, maybe a strong storm. And then, I mean, the squall line still hangs on to its intensity. So it's not like nothing's gonna like stop this. And then we look at the temperature profile, it's pretty much the same. I mean, we start to see 60, heat up Philly at 3 o'clock tomorrow, and we still see these strong temperatures that are still in the 60s. I mean, like upper 50s. And this is like already at like 7 p.m. This should be cooling down, but it's not. And then once you get like 6 hours in, it gets cold. It gets really cold. Like we start to see temperatures in the mid 20s, and then it gets even colder that night, and it warms up, and then it cools down, and then warms up, and then cools down, and then it's just this flip floppy pattern, and then it cools up and cools down, just like I'm saying. So yeah, that's what we are seeing. That is what we are seeing. Now, I want to show you, because I think we can pull up, like, the cape for tomorrow. Where is it? Okay, kind of like that. No. It's not gonna show you anything, actually. Like, I need a good cape map. I remember. Oh, wait. I remember. Oh, my God. I remember now. It's significant tornado parameter on pivotal weather. That's a good map to look at. That's a really good model to look at. First, I want to look at the Midwest, because it's showing some crazy tornado parameters here. No. Right here. Well, not even, man. Not even. Wait, I want to look. Ah, yes, the cape right here. That's the cape I'm looking at. Okay. This is HRR. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how unstable the atmosphere is gonna be. Like, I mean, you start to see 2,300 joules per kilogram. That's indicative of some pretty intense thunderstorms, like gnarly. Marginal tornado hazard type. But still, oh man, it gets nasty. And this cape just keeps on digging. I mean, it doesn't quite weaken, because, like, yes, it does weaken, but we don't need much cape for a severe thunderstorm in the northeast tomorrow. I mean, we can go all the way into the northeast, and it's gonna show the same idea. You don't need much for maybe even a severe thunderstorm. Yes, you see marginal, like amounts. That's a big deal, because if this indeed does survive, if this marginal cape survives, like even like 500 joules per kilogram, this will cause a little bit of a problem here. We look at the like GFS. It hints at the same idea. The cape is gonna weaken. However, you see this narrow like line? It's so narrow you can't really see it, but right there, crossing right through New Jersey, you see this narrow line? That's the squall line I'm talking about, that shallow base layer of cape. I want to see if the Euro agrees with it. Oh wait, that's very wrong. Okay. So that's what I wanted to show you. Because we do have instability in the atmosphere. We do have instability. It's just not so great, but I mean, it is something. Now, what I want to look at we are baking for the 6 to 10 day temperature probability. We are baking. Yes, we are baking in the eastern US. It's crazy how warm it's gonna be. I mean, you get to the highest category of above normal temperatures. In this region, we're gonna see 25 to 30 degree above average temperatures. And I think by next week, we have a potential to see 70 degrees. It's gonna be that insanely warm. Now, that does come at a threat of severe thunderstorms again next week, and these could be even more stronger than last time, than tomorrow, for instance. Man, we are baking. Like, it's crazy how freaking warm it is. And you see that white layer, those are going to be the thunderstorms are going to still be posing a threat. That's going to be the low pressure that's going to be developing those severe thunderstorms and will be crossing to the east again. 8 to 14, still baking. It is not moving. It is not moving. I mean, still 80% chance that we are seeing absolute above average temperatures. It's crazy. And then in the eastern US, western US, it's just really below average. Like 25 to 35 degrees below average. It's like such a strong, like, negative PNA pattern. Like, you got cold in the west, but, like, ridiculous amount of warmth in the east. Like, it's just crazy. And the 6 to 10 day precipitation probability outlook, it is wet from the eastern US, and this is why, because we have that warmth and precipitation, we could see another severe weather event, possibly for the northeast again, and even in like Chicago and stuff again. It's gonna be a rinse and repeat. I mean, it's still very wet, very wet. It's still very wet across the whole entire country, except like a little bit of a portion of like central, like, I don't know, like Montana. Bro, like, that's not much, but the story is how wet it is. And you don't see no below average on the 6 to 10. It is just screaming with precipitation. Oh my goodness. This is quite wild.